What's up, everybody? This is Crowbar. I hope you're having a fantastic day today, and welcome to a very different video for this channel. So, a little while ago, Pokemon Go came out, and kind of refreshed my interest in the series as a whole. So, in this video, we are joined by MizzMedia.
Hello.
And our roommate, this is Rachel.
Hello.
We're going to go through all of the starters in trios and see if we can find the one that we think is the best designed starter, possibly the ultimate loser, just off of how they're designed and in a few cases what their Pokedex entry says as is their type. I myself have played at least one mainline game in every single generation up until 6.
I played red, gold, and black.
And our roommate has played no mainline games and
Except for Pokemon Go.
has only played Pokemon Go.
She's our control
She'll
group.
have no preconceived attachment to any of these Pokemon, with the exception of maybe the first Kanto starters.
I was deeply surprised that there were that many games and that many variations.
The starters are being taken as a whole, their entire family line, not just their finals or any particular step. So we're going to start with the Bulbasaur line, which is Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur at the end. We're also not doing Megas because that's a different video that should be on her channel in a while. They're all considered the seed Pokemon. I feel like he should be the Bulb Pokemon. Or at the very least, maybe Bulb, Ivy, and then Flower. Considering how early in the game it was, I don't even know if there is a Flower Pokemon in Gen 1. If there is, it's probably Vileplume. But in any case, he's fairly cute, in my opinion. I like his colors for grass. I've never been particularly thrilled with the Bulbasaur line, mostly because I find Venusaur really ugly.
On my standpoint, like, once again, we're not taking these from their usefulness, but in the interest of fairness, this is the very first starter I ever had, because I played red,
Sure.
and I started with Bulbasaur. I still have a lot of attachment to Bulbasaur, and I personally like all three of the evolutions. I think he is one of the smoothest transitions from cute to cool. Because,
Okay.
like, his first thing, very cute. Second, little more badass. Last one, not cute anymore, but mad pimpin'. And I just really like the design. I like the color consistency.
No, I like how there's a natural progression there. You can really see where it's coming
It totally
from.
looks like it's like that. Totally makes some sense.
I think that it gets progressively less cute, but I think the Ivysaur, the second one is cute. I like everything about the third one except its face. Like, I like
Yeah,
that it has its flower.
that's totally
I
where-
like it's how it's like even its body shape. It's the face. It looks like less fierce and more just.
Going,
It's a little derpy.
Yeah.
It's a little derpy.
he always
had
looked
his
a little.
mouth closed.
Yeah,
like,
that probably
yeah,
look a little bit
on
cool.
face.
Well, because Ivysaur looks kind of fierce,
Right.
while still being kind of cute. Venusaur just kind of looks a little blobby to me. We're not gonna scale them. We're just gonna. It's just one winner per person per
Alright.
gen. Okay, so the Charmander family. They go lizard Pokemon, and then both Charmeleon and Charizard are considered the flame Pokemon. It has always bugged me and many other Pokemon players that Charizard is not a dragon type. He's eventually, I think as of Gen 2, he is fire flying, which makes some more sense. But in Gen 1, he's pure flyer, even though he can learn a couple of flying moves. I've always found Charizard to be kind of goofy looking. Like, Charmander is fucking cute as hell. And like, this is probably a lot of my nostalgia from him comes from the show, because Ash's Charmander was easily like the sweetest of his Pokemon from the get-go. Charmeleon, I will say he is an adequate teenage step for what he turns into, but I like Charmander's kind of like stubby arms. The shoulder joints of Charmeleon and Charizard always bothered me.
We were kind of commenting that in the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur line, the colors remain an interesting transition, and in this one it's like orange, red,
orange, yeah.
and like with like blue out of nowhere, which is fine. It's his wings. He didn't have wings in the previous iterations.
Right.
I've always thought that Charizard looked kind of stupid
Fair
and
enough.
not nearly as fearsome as people seem to think he should.
Well, one thing I think happens a lot is people tend to imagine that Charizard is this big badass
Really big.
dragon.
He's quite small. all
Yeah,
things
he's
considered.
human sized. He's 5 foot.
Yeah, like he's shorter
that
than
makes it
me.
even better, and I know it's purely because I was the dragon kind of kid. You
That's
all had
alright.
your mystical animals, dragons.
That's
and
why you're
he's
here.
Not a dragon, but he looks like a
But
dragon.
he's
and
close.
that's good enough for me.
To be fair, out of Gen 1, which is where he comes from, the only other dragon was Dragonite.
I like Charizard a lot. I think he's my favorite of the evolutions, especially if he's just like person size. Just like, you can give that dude a hug.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Squirtle. They go Tiny Turtle, Turtle, Shellfish. I didn't know Blastoise was the Shellfish Pokemon until I was making this list.
Quite possibly one of the stupidest things I have
It
ever
bothers
seen.
me, especially considering that there's a Pokemon in Gen 1 called Shelder, who gets the Bivalve Pokemon, which is incredibly specific. They totally could have made him Shellfish, but whatever. In any case, I have always found Squirtle fucking adorable. I've never really got the water cannon thing, especially since both Squirtle and Wartortle very effectively shoot water jets out of their mouths. I think, honestly, they were just having trouble trying to make Blastoise look cooler.
I think that Squirtle is cute as hell. Like, I think he's really adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Wartortle.
No, Wartortle's my favorite part.
I think he looks really goofy. Like, it's just like, why do you suddenly have, like, wings on your head?
Sure.
And where did those go? As far as Blastoise is concerned, I think he's probably the least, like, I think Charizard is at least more interesting, possibly, than Blastoise is. It's like, yeah, we put, like, blasters in his shell.
I'm not feeling it. Like, I like turtles and he's cute. But
I like turtles.
it's like, I'm not dissing on the turtles. Honestly, that's really weird. I don't like water. There we go.
That's fair enough. Looking at them together as a whole and taking them their entire line, where's your favorite stand? I think we're fairly. I think I know exactly how this is gonna go already.
Well, I think it's pretty obviously, like, I personally, I think I like Bulbasaur to Venusaur the best.
Okay.
Both just from a personal standpoint of thinking that they're cute and liking their evolution. I think, especially in this picture for some reason at a distance, I think that Venusaur looks almost like cat-like, like angry cat-like on his face.
I can see that. He looks maybe like he's about to.
And I also really like the consistency of the evolution. Like, you can see it's like bulb to like flower to open flower, and I really like the color transition. It feels very seamless. I think second though would be the Charmander to Charizard line, because it also has a consistency, color aside.
Right.
There's a transition there that's really very obvious. I think that the Squirrel is kind of the biggest letdown as far as the
total package.
The total package is concerned.
Tim, how about you?
Definitely the Charmander.
Definitely Charmander.
It's like by far and away, which was actually my starter in Pokemon Go. So
Fair enough, that makes sense. And I feel like this is probably my nostalgia playing on me. Like, as hard as I tried to fight it, I still end up at Squirtle. I thought actually when making this splash picture, I was gonna give it to Charizard, but the more I looked at his picture, the more those dopey fucking shoulders annoy me. And while it absolutely doesn't make much sense from a, like, our world perspective, there are definitely weirder things in the world of Pokemon than a turtle with cannons in its back.
That is very true. Not necessarily at this point, but definitely later.
It's definitely gonna get weirder as we go. This gen did have goop Pokemon and a floating magnet.
True.
So
okay, so now we're getting into the Johto region, which you have not seen.
You have not. I don't think you've seen any of these.
I'm sure I've
In
watched
half.
this
Yeah.
review,
Yeah.
but
We're gonna start off with Chikorita. Okay, so I have problems with this evolution. So Chikorita and Bayleaf are both the leaf Pokemon, and then Meganium becomes the herb Pokemon. Or herb, depending on how you want to say that, how French you feel.
Well, now if you're French, you say herb.
Herb. Exactly, that's what the Frencher. The herbier. I think Bayleaf is far and away the strongest design in this one. I think if they had connected the kind of like leaf necklace a little bit more, somewhat like Meganium's is, it would be next to perfect. I love the little cutout of the leaf. If they were going for an herb thing, I don't understand why Bayleaf isn't the first herb Pokemon in that line. Meganium looks so doofy, and where'd the leaf head go? Like, why do you have antenna now all of a sudden?
I'm in agreement with this, like, in the exact opposition to the fact that I really liked the grass starter for Kanto. And just in the interest of, I actually like grass Pokemon the best. Like, grass is where
You're the rare grass trainer.
I'm the rare grass trainer, where it's like, I know that my Pokemon just suck, but you know what? They're cute as fuck.
Not their fault.
But no,
Yeah.
I don't like anything. I maybe, like, one day I'll stand by what you said. I think that Bayleaf is probably the best of the three, but I think they all suck.
I think
that, like...
Bayleaf may be one of my favorite middle steps. Like,
It's a cool...
Bayleaf could be a Pokemon by itself.
I think Bayleaf would be better if it was a Pokemon by itself and not a middle step, but, like, I think that Chikorita is, like, it looks unfinished. It looks like somebody sketched it and, like, didn't finish the design, and then I think, Meganium was, like... I feel like that maybe Meganium was a separate Pokemon to start with, and they were like, you know what, this could work with what we've done. One day, all speculation.
I think they're cute. I don't think they flow together at all. And I definitely, comparing the generations, thought Bulbasaur was
better
in a lot of ways.
But we'll get to that when we get to the
plan. But all not great.
So moving on, we have Cyndaquil, who is I'm not even gonna pretend to lie. Easily my favorite Johto starter.
So goddamn cute, and I love every part of him.
Cyndaquil is the Fire Mouse, and then both Quilava and Typhlosion become the Volcano Pokemon.
I also like their names. I think Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion all sound really cool.
They're good. The Fire starters get good puns a lot. Quilava is supposed to be based off a stoat,
I
believe.
I
was going like mink.
He looks kind of like mink, stoat, ferret. I can see ferret in there as well. And then
Typhlosion's a honey badger.
It's a honey badger?
Yeah.
That's even better. I always think like bear, like kind of bear, but honey badger.
And he's like dog size.
The consistency is excellent. Like
the fur color doesn't change.
They didn't go crazy trying to like really differentiate them because they made the look of them what changed and not their color palette.
Absolutely.
They put more effort into making a steady progression.
I like them a lot. The second one is absolutely my favorite, but ferrets.
Sure.
Cute,
you know what? That might be. I think I maybe gave some early props to Bayleaf, but like Quilava was probably one of the first middle step evolutions I was genuinely excited for when I got the first time. Is Totodile.
Oh.
Okay, so I know
there's a reason I didn't pick the water starter. There's nothing good about it.
Totodile is
that may be a little bit too me. There's probably good things about it.
Sure. Totodile is the closest to me for getting kind of cute. And again, unfortunately, like that's entirely the anime influencing me again. I almost like Croconaw.
Big Jaw, Big Jaw, and Big Jaw.
Yeah, they all stay Big Jaw, which totally makes sense. I can't fault them for that.
Fine.
I like the weird pattern because it kind of makes him look like a caveman, which I think is what they were going for with the shortening of the jaw. Because like Totodile's jaw is way bigger, much like a regular alligator.
I will send out a little thing that I find kind of weird, which is that it's Totodile, Croconaw, clearly crocodile, Feraligatr.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, technically speaking, based off of the look of him, like of
Totodile would be
he's an alligator.
Oh, sure.
Like the shape of his. Okay, this is coming back to the fact that I used to study zoology, but like he has more of a alligator-shaped head.
I don't understand where the weird armbands come from out of nowhere on Feraligatr. Again, kind of like Bayleaf, I feel like if you just like X'd out the other two and made Croconaw its own thing, I even like that his tail looks kind of like a club.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's an interesting idea there.
I feel like the reason that Feraligatr has those lines is that somebody drew him in and was like, there's nothing on his arm. He's just blue.
Right.
We need something, but we don't want to bring the yellow back, so we're just going to add some dimension to him.
We get back to the dopey shoulders that Charizard had, but I think...
do shoulders well.
I think it will not... unfortunately, with the Serpentine and like, lizard-like Pokemon, he becomes more kind of like... He's standing on his hind legs, but he is kind of elongated like a crocodile would be, but it means that his arms like just kind of come out of his neck.
They don't even come out, they come out the side of his head basically.
Yeah.
He has no neck.
I feel like this might be the pitfall of like, let's make a water Charizard.
Yeah, probably.
So,
it's a shame.
No, there's nothing. The first one's kind of cute, like
it's like goofy.
He's all
kinda
holy with the angry little snout, but then something goes horrible.
Yeah. Cards on the table is one of the things I used to like judge my friends about when I was younger. It's just like, really, you like fucking Totodile? All right, so I feel like I already know where we're gonna fall in this one. I'm definitely on Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil the Typhlosion. I just think like just purely from his evolutionary look and feel, it's like they spent more time trying to redesign how he looked and not just rely on changing his colors and adding more spice.
It definitely looks like that creature grew rather than like transformed.
Which is kind of interesting because a lot of them have it is an evolution. It's not actually growth. It is an
Well,
evolution.
technically they're metamorphoses.
So
because that's not what evolution is.
So it is
but-
okay, but I still think that it's kind of
Metamorphosis.
cool to see one that like actually grew more than it just altered.
Right. This is Trico, Grovyle, and Sceptile, which are the Woodgecko, and Forest Pokemon, respectively.
I feel like such a traitor to liking grass a lot, but I fucking just do not like.
Not a fan?
Not a fan at all. I don't like. He's not cute. He's not cool. He's lame. Like it's like that's the like transition.
Not
is
cute, not cool, lame.
like,
What about you?
I like them all right, except for their eyes and faces.
Okay.
Like changing the eyes, like the middle.
the middle gen I think is the best.
Is not bad, but
Grovyle?
I like the leafy look. It looks like they would be like if they were out in the wild.
Right.
Like they would belong in their environment. I
Sure.
can easily see them as almost an animal.
I actually really like the really long leaf coming off of Grovyle as kind of like a hair. I think that's
Yeah.
nifty.
He's definitely the best of the three.
And I think Grovyle and Sceptile fit okay. I think that I never really dug the tail tree, basically because from the front, to me, it looks like a bush, not a tree, that he's
Yeah.
just like standing next to. I don't understand where those pods on his back came from.
I didn't even notice those.
Yeah, there's 6 of them that go down his... Like, he's just kind of a mess, in my opinion.
I also want to comment on the fact that they, aside from the tree itself, they completely lost all of the contrast of the different shades of green from the previous 2 iterations.
Oh, they
you
did.
had a green tail, and then
And a
particularly
different green
Grovyle,
body.
he had green on his head. Aside from the tail, everything that isn't red is just the same
The
green,
same
which makes him
shade.
look extremely flat.
That's true.
Especially on his arm blades, which now look like they're just protrusions from his arm as opposed to blades that he could like throw, which
Right.
is what you kind of get with Grovyle, and I just think that looks really lazy.
That's interesting. You see, like, I find Trico to look kind of blobby, and I don't really like, because, like, his nose is so round, which not very many reptiles have.
There are a few, but it's not quite like
And
that.
his other 2 evolutions are very sleek and angular, and I just don't think he fits very
It's
well.
weird.
We have Torchic, Combuskin, and Blaziken. Much like many fire starters, I really like their names. I think they did a very good job of blending fire and chicken in different ways.
They're the chick Pokemon, young fowl Pokemon,
And the Blaze
Pokemon.
because Blaziken. Torchic I have always found very cute, but I have recently begun to find him a little less cute. I don't like the lack of wings or like any real visible arms, especially because they become so prominent in his later evolutions. I do love the color switch from Torchic to Combuskin, especially like the little head feather I think is adorable. I remember liking Blaziken a lot. He was the first starter I picked when getting to Hoenn, but Blaziken does not fit with Torchic or Combuskin. Yeah, he loses the head feathers. They become like long jet-looking things. I like the firefighting thing, and I like that he also gets a signature move with Blaze Kick, which totally works considering how prominent his legs are. But I just think he looks kind of clunky.
I think Torchic's cute enough. I think there's way cuter Pokemon though, and so
Sure.
he doesn't stand out to me. I don't like Blaziken. I think Blaziken looks really dumb, and I don't like the fact that his hair also appears to be his vest,
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's true.
which I find odd. Like Combuskin the best.
Yeah.
I just think he looks kind of like the idea of a kung fu chicken is just kind of really funny to me. He just looks really funny, and he looks really intense. He's just like,
He does.
"Yes, I am in here." He looks more
Very
intense.
zen.
The sharp eyes work better on him because like
He looks more intense there than Blaziken, I feel.
the V takes away from his eyes. I
Yeah,
think.
I agree.
No, I agree with you. I like the second one. Their final evolution kind of looks like a punk rocker. It's like he's gonna start headbanging.
Interesting. And the final starter from Hoenn, the love of the internet, is Mudkip,
Who's
who Mudfish all the way through. Mudkip is so fucking cute.
No, I think
There's
he's
a
adorable.
reason Do You Like Mudkips exists, and Mudkip is that reason. I also, like, I never gave a lot of attention to Marshtomp. He's also so fucking cute. He's so happy.
He really is. Like, he looks a little derpy, but the derpy,
He's like,
instead of looking kind of
"Yay!"
lame, I really like Mudkip is just like, he looks kind of like vaguely concerned, but adorable.
Oh no.
And then, Marshtomp is just like so happy to be here. Like, he's just jazzed
Yeah.
to be involved, and I love it. He's precious. And then Swampert also he's less cute.
I think
but
Swampert is the weakest
he pulls off
of these three.
He
but
pulls the derpy a little bit still, and I feel
yeah,
like
that's true.
He's still cohesive with the others.
Absolutely. He re-inherits the third spike on Mudkip's cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tiny. He has the same face shape as Marshtomp, and I don't particularly dig his tail fin. But I do like that since he is supposed to still be a fish, he still has fins.
Yeah, it works. I think that I don't particularly like that his eyes start where his
head
I feel
stalks.
like it would have been better if they had been.
It might make him look a
and they
little
had
less
come-
cross-eyed.
Yeah, but all in all, I still think that he is really cute. And one thing, I think it's one of those things where it's just like, even though the last one is not the best ever, it's cohesive, and the first two are cute.
Very
as shit.
strong.
Like,
absolutely precious. Unless it might just be the picture, the third one. I wish he was the same shade of blue as the other two.
He's a little darker.
It's just
he's a little
it's
bit darker.
Just
That's
off.
pretty. It seems to be pretty common.
Yeah.
To darken them,
But
but
they're very cute.
So our Hoenn trio here, I'm still torn. One of you can go ahead.
Mudkip, absolutely.
Mudkip.
100%. Like,
I-
while not disliking Torchic to Blaziken, I dislike Blaziken enough that it brings the whole group down.
Yeah.
And then I don't like Trico to fucking Sceptile at all. I just don't like the transition. I feel like, despite the fact that I think the middle one is okay, it's not good enough. And then but just Mudkip to.
This is interesting. This generation, I think the strongest of each of the starters is its middle step.
Yeah, interesting. I agree. I think that each one looks really good. But yeah, they're just like Mudkip is just cute as shit.
Yeah, I think I have to give it the only reason I would
also cute as shit, and Swampert not bad enough to pull away
sure.
from that.
I
Still
think the only reason I would pick Blaziken would be again nostalgia, and because I do know that Blaziken is a beast in competitive, but that's not what we're here for. So I probably have to give it to Mudkip as well. Starting off with Turtwig, Grotto, and Torterra.
Tiny Leaf, Grove, and
Continent, which I like that each one changes.
If you're gonna change one, change all three.
Exactly.
Don't do 2 and 1. I think that's really a weird choice. Do all three or all three different, and I just don't know why they don't do that.
So Turtwig, much like many starters, is adorable. I didn't used to like Grotto, but in the making of these pictures, I realized that Grotto reminds me a lot of Spike from The Land Before Time.
Oh yeah.
And I fucking love Spike. He's my favorite part of those movies. So he kind of grew on me a little bit there.
Growing.
Yeah. Torterra is really cool. I've always liked the island is a turtle, the living landmass
I was
thing.
going to say exactly that.
And
the fact that he's even the continent Pokemon to go with that myth.
Which is absolutely
so
intentional.
Cool.
I think Turtwig is really cute and derpy. He's really fun. I think unlike the last one, the middle step was probably the best step. I think this one, I think probably the weakest.
Grottle's kind of the weakest.
He's fine, but he's I think the weakest. This is the first time where it's the last one is not cute. It is in fact cool, and I like it.
No, I like him a lot. I'm totally down with it. You can see the progression, and I just
you inherited a cat.
Yes, I did.
Is she on? Oh, she's on the screen.
A little bit.
The third generation is just amazing.
I think my only personal design peak here is I don't particularly like the cheek spikes.
They're a little weird.
That get progressively bigger. I don't fully dig the tree on Torterra. I get the idea. I think they could have pulled it off better. So now we got Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape, which are the chimp, playful, and flame Pokemon. So this is where I noticed when making this thing. Pokemon has a tendency with their fire starters particularly to set tails on fire. And just take an animal, set its tail on fire. Now it's a fire type.
In this one, it looks literally just like his butt is on fire.
Yeah, Chimchar has always looked like he's just farting fire. I actually kind of like Monferno. The blue eyebrow thing is, I think, really striking and is just enough to pull your eye to his face. Infernape is not badly designed. This trio just didn't ever really wow me.
I think this is another situation wherein I think that Infernape is better as a singular entity and not as a final evolution of the other two.
Sure.
I suppose, it's good that they're scary and they can be fierce, but I'm just picturing being in the woods and seeing that's deeply off-putting.
It is off-putting, but God.
That is cat hair, like you would not believe.
It is off-putting, but at the same token, I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, monkeys are kind of scary.
Pretty terrifying.
Like, we think about them as kind of cute and whatnot in the context of zoos, but, like, apes are somewhat terrifying.
No, they are. I can see each version.
And he definitely,
scary.
He's got, like, a bit of a sinister look on Infernape.
And I can feel it. I can dig that one.
And final in Sinnoh, we have Piplup.
Oh.
I'm not super thrilled with Piplup starting.
Which is impressive because his favorite animal is penguins.
I fucking adore penguins, and we'll get there, trust me. But I think Piplup's a little too simple. It's still cute, much like frickin' Chimchar. I feel like it's just lacking. Then we have Prinplup and Empoleon, just to say the name. Prinplup is definitely gooberish. But the more I've looked at them, the more I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, buddy. And I appreciate this is the uncomfortable teen phase, where it hasn't quite come together yet. I fucking adore Empoleon. The only problem I have with any of his design, he does not need those claws under his fins. Something that a lot of people forget when they think about penguins is that penguins are birds of prey. They are predators. And I love the idea of the trident beak thing, because basically he'd be swimming through the water and stab you to death.
I like all three of them individually. I do not like them as a whole. I know I can see the progression.
But you think they work better separately?
Yeah, I just think they're all, like, interesting thing. But I just don't feel them as a coach. There's something off now?
Sure. I think that Piplup is cute enough. I really like Prinplup.
Really?
I think Prinplup looks kind of cool and fun, and I think he looks more like an emperor penguin than the final.
More like a real one.
Yeah, more like a real one, and like also he looks a little bit like Maitre D, like being like enter your tables.
Oh sure.
Especially in this picture. I think that Empoleon looks weird as hell. Like I don't dig the trident thing. I think it makes his face look cluttered. And
That's
I
true.
think also, like, yeah, you sure you're swimming through the water stabbing shit, but now you got shit stuck on your face and you can't see.
Well, you just eat it.
I guess. For a second, I thought he was holding a surfboard in his right hand.
Oh, that
was not his wing.
That wasn't his fin.
And I didn't know that those were little claws things, and that's dumb as shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Empoleon. I see what you're saying, but I just don't like him.
Fair enough. Alright, so we fold into the trio. So let's start with you this time.
Easily the grass type, whose name I cannot remember.
Turtwig, Grotto, Torterra.
Easily, far and away my favorite. It just seems very peaceful.
You?
I will also
Go with Turtwig?
I'll go with Turtwig, mostly just because I think he's the best one of the three. I do like the Piplup. I do like Piplup, Prinplup, but I like all three of the.
I think I will be splitting with you guys here. It's again, I feel like part of my personal play is coming in here. But whereas like I dig Empoleon, Prinplup, and I'm okay on Piplup. I like Torterra and Grotto. Turtwig doesn't particularly do anything for me. Kind of in the same way Chimchar does. I kind of feel like the first step in this entire generation is a little and I give a slight bar to Piplup over Turtwig. Hey guys, thanks for watching so far. So this video ended up being way too long to put up in one piece. So I've left you a little link right below to click on to get to part 2, because frankly I can't trust YouTube to do that. So make sure you click it, check out the end, do the thing. Alright, bye.